Hello motherfuckers and welcome to this breakdown of the Steve Simpson Wwise and Unity kart racer. Before we begin, let's buckle up and take a look at some in-game footage.
Get ready to drift. Cartoon racing. Let's go racing! Look at the damage done there! Things are starting to heat up on the racetrack.
Hello there! Yeah, it's me, Steve. So yeah, this is the kart racer project I was working on recently. The main goal of this project was to come up with a number of engine systems for the races you see before you. It's also about me playing around with Wwise and trying to implement loads of different things with very little.
Steve, show them the stuff in the Soundcaster.
Okay, I will.
Get ready to drift. Cartoon
Okay, so the announcer is tied to the car engine. There's 3 vehicle types and I wanted to give them character, so there's 3 separate systems designed for this. We've got the Harley Davidson. This was created in Krotos Igniter. The bike engine was made from an iPhone app. So yeah, all of these engines are mapped to just one RTPC, which is just set to speed. I'll come back to the engines in a little while. Okay, so we've got the boost effects there. There's also some VO, using my own kids as underpaid workers. Obviously not a rip-off of Mario in any way, shape or form. There's also Fail, which I couldn't get working in game, but I thought I'd add this raspberry sound. These jump effects were made using Serum, as well as a toolbox that basically kicked around the room. Collision sounds are just an extension of the toolbox, really.
Get out the way!
Added kids for extra road rage action.
Get out the way! Hey you! Move it! Stop it!
We got 2 types of skid. This is the gravel skid loops. And obviously the stop that still with a slight fade out. These are driven by a ground service switch. But essentially the tyre skid kicks in, and then once you stop skidding there's a little fade out. There's a number of weapon sounds in use, so it's had to be kept quite generic. So I went for a pop and a spit and some gun mechanics.
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen?
So this is the weapon impacts, kind of based on the old arcade game Pole Position.
It's starting to heat up on the racetrack.
You have that sound of the car wearing down almost, and then the impacts with the toolboxes and the announcer, and also the kids VO of the impact hits.
What about them sweet engines?
Good point, stupid AI. This is a 3-wheeler engine. I grabbed it from Krotos Igniter. So there's a number of loops, all cross-faded in. RTPC just fades via a blend track, and that takes it through from low speed to 75 miles per hour. There's some custom RTPCs that are linked to volume and pitch. Protoss did a pretty good job of getting a Harley Davidson sound, so I didn't really add many layers other than as is. The bike engine was a different approach, so there's only 3 loops here: idle, sort of a low speed, and then a higher speed. I recorded this just with an iPhone app, going straight into the interface, and I was able to take steadies from the revs themselves. For extra cartooniness, that's a word, I added my own mouth sounds using a Pringle can, just captured with a Clippy mic. So I did 5 types. These are faded into the main engine, and when the engine's at higher speed, mixes in fully, giving extra character to that engine sound. The cart was a little bit different, again, so I was able to get Boom Library at a sample of SUV, and I was able to take steadies at matched RPMs. I also made a dummy exhaust using the Pringle can trick again. In-game there's another layer in use, which is the toolbox which I just shook and used a blend track, and this was to mimic chassis movement. Here you can see how I blended those layers in using the RTPC, volume and pitch. Also, it doesn't show it here, but on each of those loops I was able to add a smart curve, and that linked to the relevant RPMs. I think overall doing that was I was able to achieve a smoother transition between all of those loops. Engines aside, I wanted to add an extra depth of gameplay using the racer's voice. To achieve this, I had to look at some of the Wwise inbuilt RTPCs and see what was available. So using game states, I was able to highlight the front of the racer and behind, and then fire a switch, which would then fire the relevant VO that was playing on a continuous loop. Let me show you. So the forward-facing VO had to be cut off just under 10 meters because the car itself would have triggered this. Then also added pitch as well and volume. From behind, the language is more frantic. It also fades in a little bit longer because of the speed that you would be approached at as a racer.
Well done, Steve, that sounded great.
Thanks, AI.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.